Okay, so sorry for the issue. There was some audio problem actually. Okay, so we'll be starting it again. Let's just wait 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we are going to move through this video. Okay, so first of all, we'll be implementing this profile page. Okay, let me show it to you. Profile. Okay, so we'll be collecting user's name, and user can also edit their about or bio information, right? And there will be option to for uploading the avatar or the logo. Okay, user can choose their profile pic. Hi Vishnu, hi Sunim. So this will be the profile page that we are going to build. Okay, so the new thing here is going to be this upload avatar component. Okay, we are going to build it from scratch. There is no such component available in Material UI. Okay, and then we'll also implement this navigation. Okay, this was left, and along with that we are also going to implement the uh, auth guard functionality. That means if a user is logged in, okay, then only they can visit these pages. Otherwise they will have to first log in. Okay, they will be kicked back to the login page. So let's start. Okay, so in our code I'm just going to first of all close all the open editors. Okay, and collapse this file structure as well. Now let's move through this quickly. Okay, first of all we need to go inside the pages. Then we are going to create a new page inside the dashboard file. Okay, so let's create a file called profile.js. This is for building the user profile page. Now for this, as you can see in our Figma design, we'll be having again the same layout, almost this left side. Okay, and then this right side. So we can use the same structure. Okay, so let's open up this group.js file. Okay, then we can get the same stack. I'm also going to wrap all of the content inside this fragment. Right, so I'm just going to quickly complete this part, this left side. Okay, then we can import all of these components. So let's get this stack from Material UI and this box component as well. Right, now after doing this, let's first of all combine this in the routes folder. Okay, so you can just go inside this index.js file. Then as usual we are going to import our first page first of all. Okay, so here I'm going to write profile page. Okay, then we can just change the path here. So it's inside pages slash dashboard slash profile. Okay, that's it. Now we can actually render it inside this dashboard layout. Okay, so I'm going to write it after this call. Okay, let's set up the path to be profile, okay, and then we can change the component that will be rendered to profile page. Now we can actually visit our profile page. Let's see. Okay, so if you type profile, okay, then we are able to see this box. Okay, it is clearly visible. It has this nice background color along with the box shadow. So now we can actually start rendering content inside it. Okay, so let's revisit our Figma file. Okay, here you can see we are going to need to place this icon button along with this profile text, okay, at the top. So what we are going to do is we can just use another stack here. This is not a recorded lecture, it's live. There was some audio issue, so I have to disconnect. Okay, so here we are going to actually provide this padding of 4 and spacing of 5. Okay, this is actually quite understandable because we want some white space here. Okay, as you can see from all the 4 sides, so that is going to be provided by the padding. Okay, and the spacing that you are seeing between all of these components that are rendered vertically, that is the spacing. Okay, now after this let's focus on building this header part. Okay, by header I mean this icon button along with this profile text. So I'm just first of all going to write this comment here. Then we can use another stack since we are going to group two things together in the horizontal direction. Okay, so let's first set up the direction to be row, and we can also provide these two other properties, align item center as usual and justify content. Or since we don't need to provide any spacing, okay, we can just achieve that through the spacing prop. So I'm just going to give a spacing of 3. Okay, that is 24 pixels. Now the first component that we need here is icon button, so let's get it from the material UI. Okay, it's quite simple, and the icon that we need here is this caret left icon. It can be imported from the Phosphor React library. I'm just going to quickly style it, so let's set up its size. Okay, we are going to make it quite large, so 24, and color that is going to come from our Figma file. Okay, you can go and check it out. What is the color? It's 4B 4B 4B. Okay, so I'm just going to take it and place it here. Now we have our icon button placed, and someone has asked if there will be a backend. Yeah, we are going to start backend from tomorrow. Okay, we'll be setting up our server. Okay, after that we'll define some schemas, and the first topic that we'll be tackling is authentication. We'll be using JWT for authenticating our users, right? And we are also going to actually make use of Google Auth, okay, since we have already implemented that in our UI. Now after this let's focus on this part. So we just need to place this profile text. Okay, so I'm going to use this typography component for that purpose. Okay, and for styling it let's pass some variant. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this h5 here. Let's save this, and now this header part is complete. Then we can focus upon building the form. Okay, this is going to be a simple form with two text element. Okay, two text input actually, one submit button and this upload avatar component. So let's actually make a comment for that first of all. Now you can see after this stack we need to place form here. Okay, that is profile form basically. So we are going to create a standalone component, okay, inside the sections folder. Okay, then we can go inside the settings and create profile form. We have created many forms, okay, till now, so this is going to be quite simple for all of us. I'm just going to take it from the auth. Okay, we can go inside this login form. I'm just going to copy it for the moment, okay? Then we'll be removing everything that is unnecessary. So let's start from the top. First of all, we don't need this state, okay? So I'm just going to remove that, and we are also going to remove this input component from here, okay? And also this forgot password, then this submit button. Let's keep this for now, or we can actually place our own, okay? We don't need this one. Let's first of all change the name of this file. So I'll be renaming it to this component to profile form, okay? Profile form. Now after this, the first step is to actually create the schema, okay? So as you can see in our Figma design, we are going to collect these three fields from the user: avatar, okay, their name and their bio. So here we can start by defining the first property, okay, and that is going to be the user's name. For database, we are going to use MongoDB in this application, okay? We'll be using free cluster, okay? You don't need to pay for that, you can create it for free. So name, it is going to be a string, okay, and name will be a required property here in this form, so I'm just going to keep it to required. And after that we can define the second property, okay, that will be the about, and this is also going to be a string, okay, and we also want it to be a required required field in this form, okay? And if the user doesn't provide this, then we will be showing this error message about is required. Then the last field, that is going to be the avatar URL. We are going to use this key, okay, in our form, so we are using the same name here. Now this is also going to be a string, because this will be a blob, okay? We'll be submitting a blob to our backend, okay? So that is why we are keeping its type to string, and this is also going to be a required property, so we'll say avatar is required. You can keep it optional if you want, okay? And we are also going to specify that this can't be null, okay? Now after this, let's define the default values. So I'm just going to define default value for the name and the about property. This is, I'm just going to keep it to null for now, okay? Just empty strings. Methods is going to remain the same, okay? And also this part, we just need a few other properties here, so we can just destructure those here. The first one will be watch, okay, and we also need another thing, control, okay? This is enough. And after this, we'll be keeping this on submit function as it is, okay? I'm just going to add one line here. We can console out the data that we are getting, right? Now after this, we'll be actually going to create another method here that will be to pick up the image from the avatar component that we will be creating, okay? So I'm just going to create this values, okay? So if you call this watch, then you can get all of the values from the form, okay? And this is going to be very useful for us. Let's see how. So we'll be creating this another handler function here, which will be called handle drop. So whenever a user drops an image inside the image picker, okay, then we'll be calling this handle drop function, and I'm going to use this use callback hook, okay, to actually optimize it. So we'll be passing a callback here, okay, and then a dependency list. So whenever this set value, okay, this is called, then this handle drop, it will be recalculated, okay? So what we are going to do, we'll be getting all of the accepted files from the input component here, okay? And after that, we'll get our avatar or our file, okay, as the first component in the list. Okay, this is actually going to be a list. You can console it out. Okay, if you have implemented any file picker, okay, in the previous forms, then you must know that the input that we get is a list. Okay, and we just have to extract the file as the first element in that list. Now we'll be actually creating this new file. Okay, what we are going to do here is we'll be making use of this object class. Okay, then we'll call this assign method. Okay, we'll be taking this file that we are getting here, then we'll be building this object which is going to contain this property preview. Okay, and this preview is actually going to be a blob which we can get by using this url dot create object URL. Okay, and then passing the file to it. Here we are also going to say that if there is some file, okay, if the user has picked some file, then we are going to actually update its value in our form context. So for that we'll be calling this set value. Okay, and we have to get this set value from this methods. Okay, we need to extract it from here. So let's get it, set value. Then we have to pass this key that we have defined here, avatar URL. Okay, we are updating its value, so we need to pass it here. Then after that we can write this new file. Okay, and we can also pass some options here. So we would say should validate true. Okay, that means whenever we are going to update the value of this avatar URL, then these validation rules are going to be run again. Okay, these will be checked. So now we have set it up our form. The only thing that is left is to actually complete this form by adding the input fields. Okay, so first of all what we are going to do is we'll be just focusing upon adding this name and this about component. Okay, these two we have already done this, okay, previously. So we are just going to use this RHF text field, which is a simple text input component. Here we'll be updating just the name with these keys that we have defined here, name, about. Okay, so the first one is going to be name, the label is also going to be the name. You can pass any helper text if you want. So I'm just going to pass this text, okay, to help the user in understanding. Okay, so as you can see we have written this text here, this name is visible to your contacts. This is just to update the user, or to inform the user that whatever name they are choosing here, they should keep it such that this is like their contacts are going to see it. Okay, so they should keep it something like a proper name. Okay, so we are just adding a warning type of message here. So this name is visible to your contacts. So sometimes this helper text is can also be used to display some warning type. Okay, and we are again going to use another RHF text field, this time for building the about input component. Okay, so here as you can see we need this component which is going to be multi-line. Okay, and it is like its height is bigger than this name. Okay, so we have to pass this prop which will be multi-line. Okay, this means this is a boolean prop. Okay, its value is true, and we can pass this property rows. Okay, like there are going to be 4 rows, this is 1 row space, and this is going to be 4 times of it, and the maximum space that it can take, okay, as row wise is 5. I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. Okay, now we can just provide this prop name, okay, and label. Let's save this, and now we can actually use this profile form here. Okay, so that we can see on our screen what we are building. Okay, let it compile, then we can go back to our app, and I'm going to just refresh it. Let's see. Yeah, we get exactly what we wanted, this name component along with this about. Okay, you can just customize it. Okay, if you don't like this its height, then you can reduce this row to 3 maybe. Okay, let's keep it to 3. Hi everyone, few other peoples have also joined. Okay, thanks everyone for joining, and also make sure to press the like button. Okay, and also leave your comment, that is really going to motivate me. And let's also build this submit button. Okay, at the end. So what I'm going to do is, after this stack I'm going to make use of another stack. Okay, then we can use the button component from the material UI. Let's write this text, save here. Okay, and we can actually make use of loading button, which is going to come from material UI's experimental library. Okay, we'll do that later. For now let's just use button. Okay, I'm just going to give it some props to style it. So the color is going to be primary, that is our blue color for this application. Okay, I want its size to be large. Okay, you know there can be multiple sizes, small, medium and large, and its type is going to be submit. Okay, since this is inside a form, let's keep its variant to outlined as defined in our Figma file. Okay, outline. Now I'm going to just save it. Let's see. Yeah, but I just want it to be placed at the end. Okay, so what we can do here is, we can write in this stack direction equals row. Okay, and justify content end. Now let's see it again. Okay, and yeah, we get exactly what we wanted, but we can improve it. Okay, because there is no spacing here, as you can see right now. So I'm just going to wrap these two stacks inside a parent stack. Okay, let's move this content up. Okay, one level, and here we can now provide some spacing. So I'm just going to give this spacing of 3. Let's see. Yeah, it's looking just okay, right? And now you can see our validation is also working. Okay, just like we set it up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, we'll implement this upload avatar component. Okay, after implementing the navigation, okay, and the protected route. So let's do those things first. Okay, because this is going to be a custom component. Okay, this is not provided by material UI, so we'll have to write multiple components in order to create it. Okay, because we'll be using a drag and drop type of input. Okay, so let's actually focus on building the navigation first. Okay, so what is our target right now? We want these navigation buttons to be such that whenever a user is clicking on them, then the user should be navigated to different pages. Okay, so for that we have to think it like this. We have implemented this side nav inside the layout. Okay, so we have to go inside that file. So I'm just going to collapse all of these open files, and after that we are going to move inside this layouts folder. Okay, then go to dashboard. Okay, and here you can see this sidebar, and here we have mapped over these list of icons. Okay, as you can see these nav buttons. Okay, and we are also maintaining a state here for the selected icon button. Okay, or the selected tab, you can say. So what we are going to do, whenever a tab is clicked, then this handler function handle click is firing. Okay, so we are just going to write the navigation logic inside here. So for that I'm going to actually make use of another hook, which is provided by this library react router DOM. Okay, so let's actually import. I'm going to just write this statement here, import use navigate from React Router DOM. Okay, then what we can do here is we can say const navigate is equal to use navigate. Okay, by just calling this use navigate hook. Now we can just use this navigate function. Okay, then we can pass some actually path inside it. Let me just show you. If we pass this slash profile, okay, now what is going to happen, or let's actually set it to call. Okay, so when I'm going to, like, if I click on any of the icon button, okay, let's say on settings, even then this will be redirected to slash call. Okay, let's see. I think we have to refresh our app. Okay, now let's see, it is not actually working. Let me debug that. Okay, so we are clicking on a icon button. Okay, here in this icon button. Okay, so on click, actually this function is not getting fired, handle click is not getting fired. So I'm just going to cut this navigate from here. Okay, and I'll be placing it inside this icon button. Okay, after this set selected. Okay, now after it's compiled, let's click on this group. Okay, and now you can see it is getting redirected to another page. Okay, so we can just achieve that navigation by calling this navigate, but the real task is to provide this path as per this index. Okay, so what we can do here, we can just create a simple function for that. Okay, let's see how we can achieve that as well. So I'm just going to create a new function here which will be called get path, and it will be receiving this index as the argument. Okay, and the possible values for this index is going to be from 0 to 3. Okay, all integer values. So what we are going to actually do here, we will be using this switch statement. Okay, we can just pass the index here. Okay, then we'll be creating multiple cases here from 0 to 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now we can just return the path from this function. Okay, like for the index 0 we want the path to be app. Okay, I'm just going to remove all of these break. Okay, just accept this default case because we'll be returning something from here. In that case the flow will be completed. Okay, and the function will exit from this return keyword. For tab number 1 we want the path to be slash group, so I'm just going to keep it like this. For path number 2 we want it to be call, and for 3 we want it to be settings. Okay, now we can use this get path function that we just created inside this navigate. Okay, so I'm just going to put it here, and then we can just pass this el.index. Okay, in here like this, and the result of this function is going to be a path. Okay, or a string. So let's now see what we get. If I click on this general or chat icon button basically, then we are getting to this slash app. If I click on the call, okay, then I'm getting to the call screen, and same for the group and settings. Okay, this settings is actually not working. Let's see why. Okay, so we have to actually implement it even down here. Okay, this is a different one. So instead of placing these, let's just actually write it here. Okay, here we can just pass the index to be 3. Okay, because this is already predefined. Yeah, and now if I click on this call and then on the settings, then we are able to navigate. Okay, so this is the navigation that we have to create. And now there is one more thing, like if the user is authenticated, okay, then they shouldn't be able to go back to the login screen. Okay, like if I press enter button right now after just modifying this path, okay, then I am able to go back to the login screen. Okay, And similarly, even if a user is not logged in and they just modify the path to /app, then they can navigate inside the app. So this is not right. So what we are going to do, we can just go inside the layout that we have created, okay, this dashboard layout. Before returning any JSX, we can just write a condition here, like if is authenticated, okay, if the user is authenticated, then we'll allow the flow to go down here. Otherwise, we are going to just check this condition. If the user is not authenticated, that means user is not logged in, then what we are going to do, we'll be returning some other JSX, okay. We'll be actually returning this navigate component, which is going to come from React Router DOM, and we can pass this to prop to it, okay, which will basically decide where the user is going to be redirected. So if the user is not authenticated, then we are going to redirect the user back to the login screen in this case. I hope you understand this. And for this is authenticated, we are going to actually get it from our Redux store, okay. For now, I'm just going to like hard code it here just to illustrate, okay, but this will be defined inside the Redux slice, okay, and it will be dynamic, okay, based on whether the user is currently logged in or not. So if the user is logged in, then this condition will be false, okay, then the user will be able to see the /app/group/call, okay, all those screens which are rendered inside this layout, okay. But if I set it to false, okay, let's set it to false. I'm just going to keep it to false, okay, like this. And if we save it, okay, and go back to our app, then you can see we are automatically redirected back to the login screen. And if I even try changing the path to /app and then press enter, then you can see again the path is /auth/login, okay. So this is exactly what we wanted. I hope you understand this concept. And similarly, we can do one more thing, like if the user is not logged in, okay, or if the user is logged in, then they can't visit any authentication screen, okay, they will be thrown back to the /app path. So that is actually going to be quite simple. We can just go to the routes, then index.js, and then we can see we are using this main layout, okay. Here let's find out where this main layout is coming from, okay. So it's from the layout/main. Here we can write the same condition, okay, just we'll be inverting this negation operator, okay. We'll be saying like if the user is authenticated, then they have to be thrown back to the /app path, okay. Again, we are going to import this navigate component from React Router, okay, and we'll be getting this is authenticated again from the global store, okay. So there won't be any need to hard code it. For now, I'm just again going to illustrate it to you. So let's define it here, is authenticated, okay. So what we want to test here is like if the user is already logged in, then they shouldn't be able to visit any screen which is rendered inside this layout, okay, which is meant for authentication screen. So I'm just going to write true here, okay, and let's also set the value to true for this layout, okay, because this will be same, because it's going to come from a single source that will be our Redux store, okay. Now if you see, I'm trying to visit /auth/login, okay, then I'm again automatically thrown back to the /app path, okay. This is exactly what we needed. Now there is one more thing, like we can link this profile settings and logout with certain path, okay. Let's also do that, okay. And it's 9:39, so we might actually want to like complete this upload avatar component in the next video, because this is just a 20 to 25 minutes task, okay. We will be creating 4-5 components for this. Okay, so let's actually go to this sidebar. Okay, here we can find this menu. So as you can see, inside this menu we have different menu items that you are able to see here. Okay, these three options that you are seeing here, they are menu items. We want to link these menu items to certain paths. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So whenever these menu items are clicked, then this handle click function is getting called. Okay, let's see. Inside this handle click we can actually write the same logic. Okay, navigate, and here we can write, we can again get this path. Okay, based on which, like, which element is clicked. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'll be actually let's also actually write an alert here. Okay, we can just see what this event.current target is denoting. Okay, this is actually going to be the number. Okay, 0 1 2. Let's actually confirm that. So if I go back to this app and if I click this profile, then you can see, yeah, it's not actually the number, it's a HTML element. So what we can do here is, when it is clicked, we can pass the index from here. Okay, so I'm just going to convert this into callback instead of reference, because we want to pass some argument to it. So here I'll be just taking the index from this map. Okay, let's call it idx. Then I'll be passing that down to the handle click function. Okay, and yeah, so here, or actually I'm going to just take this navigate logic down. Okay, because we are already receiving one prop here. Okay, so I'm just going to call it like this. Then we can use this navigate function here, and we are again going to create another function. Let's call it get menu path. Okay, then we'll be passing this index to this function. Let's create it. Okay, just like we did this get path. So we'll be receiving this index here. Then we are going to create this arrow function. Again we are going to use the switch statement, and based on the value of index, which is going to be 0 1 and 2, we'll be navigating the user. Okay, or we can actually perform certain operations here. So this is actually going to be from 0 to 2, like this. So in the first case, user is going to be redirected to this profile path. Okay, I'm going to again remove this break statement, because we are going to return certain values from here. Okay, and for the second thing, like, this is settings. Yeah, so we can set the path to settings in case the index is 1. And for the third case, we are actually going to execute some logic here. Okay, in order to log out the user, like, we'll be updating the user's token, which will be stored in our Redux store, and we'll be updating the value of is authenticated to false. After that, we'll be actually returning this path from here. Okay, that is going to be auth/login. So for the other logic that we are going to write here, I'll just leave a comment to update token and set is authenticated to false. Okay, now we can just format it. Let's save it, and if we go back to our app, and now if I click on /profile, let's actually refresh it. And it's not working actually, so let's see. what is wrong here. Okay, so inside this menu item we are clicking on this button. Okay, let's actually implement this on the stack. Okay, so if I write it here, yeah, now it's working. And that is because why we have to implement it here, because as you can see we are actually clicking on this stack. Okay, and this menu item we are not able to reach it. Okay, that is outside. We have actually, like you can see, we have implemented this spacing from all of the sides, so that is why we have to move this on click functionality to this stack. Okay, and now I think we are done with this. Okay, you can see this navigation is working out. Okay, we can also go to this profile section. So there is just one thing left, that is to implement the user's avatar component. Okay, other than that we have almost everything ready. Okay, as you can see, so we'll complete that upload avatar component, okay, in the next video, and then we'll also set up our server. Thanks for joining everyone. Okay, I am very delighted like you all joined, and I'm excited to continue this series. Okay, so we'll begin with the backend part, and also we'll wrap up this left out upload avatar in the next video. Let me know if you have any comments. Okay, and you can also find the updated code. Okay, you can also actually see how you can implement this. I have already updated this repo and already posted it in the Discord. Okay, and if you haven't joined the Discord channel yet, then please make sure to join. Okay, we have almost 130 plus members as of now. Okay, thanks, then I'll see you in the next video.